bad boys, what you gonna do? What you gonna do when they come for you? Bad boys, bad boys. I just saw this third movie. I saw it in the theater with a bunch of people. Hey guys, it's me, John Avenger, and welcome back to Movies with Sexy Actresses Month. And this one definitely had some. This is Bad Boys for Life, aka what I call Bad Boys 3. This movie was fucking awesome. Yeah, I'm gonna be on PC about it. This was the long-awaited sequel that we all were, waiting for. The first one in the franchise to get a fresh on Rotten Tomatoes. The first movie of the new decade, and the first sequel of of this franchise, almost at Die Hard, in 17 years. Worth the freaking wait, man. This movie is insanely funny. Martin Lawrence and Will Smith still have the chemistry that they had in the first two. Michael Bay is not the director of this one, but the directors that did this one did a fantastic job with the fight sequences and the shootouts and the freaking action and the explosions. They're CG, but it's not too much. This isn't freaking Doolittle where it's $170 million mess of CGI. And I think it looks better than Black Panther. Like there was some wonky CGI in Black Panther, but this movie did not have it. The film is like I said, it's R rated. That's rare for a movie in January that doesn't suck. It's a long awaited sequel that was worth the wait. Yeah, again, fuck you, rehash trilogy of Star Wars. And it's a comedy sequel, an action comedy sequel that's good. Wow, somebody pinched me. That hasn't happened in years since like 22 Jump Street. Because Deadpool 2 is also an action comedy, but I'm saying a non superhero movie because there's plenty of those, and those are like comedies all the time too. But this movie was awesome. Basically, Mike Lowry. I'm not going to say any spoilers here in case you want to see it. Tevya, Josh, Anthony, whoever else is on Facebook and YouTube. If you want to see this movie, I'm not going to spoil anything. But something happens to one of these guys, and it's a revenge plot, and they have to infiltrate this woman that lives in Mexico with her son, and her son is a freaking killer. Yeah, that's all I'm gonna say for now. With that, that's the plot in a nutshell. I thought their movie has problems. I'm gonna say this right now. It's not Martin Lawrence and Will Smith. They're great. It was good to see Joe Pantoliano back as a police captain. Teresa Randall is good to see her. The first time I seen her on screen in the theater since since Space Jam. And they brought back characters from the second movie, like Reggie. Yeah, it's played by the same actor from the second movie. And Marcus's daughter gets married. That's cool. That's not much of a spoiler. It happens later in the film, and they're great. The jokes, a lot of them are funny. The violence is beyond freaking like. This is a hard R. Don't take your kids to this movie, and stop taking babies to the theater because I heard a baby in the theater tonight. They're not needed in the theater, guys. Leave them at home with a parent or with a guardian or with a responsible adult babysitter. They're not this. They do not need to get messed up by this movie. It's a hard R. There's blood. There's explosions. There's glass cutting someone in the face. You have people getting like, shot in the face and blown up and freaking just lacerated. It's a pretty hard R. This is almost as R as Logan or Deadpool. But again, this is not a superhero movie. You're not going to see Will Smith flying off a car like in Fast and the Furious. There's a lot of things that happen that that defy the laws of physics. But again, suck it, Hobbs and Shaw. This is how you do a movie right. hmm with an interracial cast. But the problems are here. One, the freaking villain sucks ass. This Paulo Nunez or whatever the hell his name is, he looks like freaking Michael Pena. It's like Michael Pena if he frowned the whole freaking movie. This is him. I'm angry. I'm angry. I want to kill people. That's him the whole freaking movie. And I swear there's way too much Spanish in this movie. Kenneth, forgive me, but I don't care. I don't want to read subtitles in the theater. Martin Lawrence, Will Smith, that's what I see Bad Boys for. Not your fucking soap opera bullshit Spanish, Mexican Spanish like Narcos or whatever the fuck. I don't want to read subtitles. I don't. The woman in this movie, half of her dialogue is subtitled. What, you want her to speak Spanish and not read subtitles? I didn't go to see a Bad Boys sequel for that. That was one of my biggest pet peeves in the movie. Some of the writing hurts with the freaking villain sucks, too much Spanish, and there's some religious shit that was thrown into the movie that I think was not needed. I'm sorry. Give me the woo-saw any day in the second movie over that. That's the only problems I had with the movie. This film is shot well, great cinematography, great soundtrack, kick-ass freaking action. The score was good to hear the Bad Boys theme, Dun, 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 dun. Dun, 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 dun. It's not the original composer from the first movie, but it sounds pretty badass. And like I said, if you had cut all of the Spanish bullshit out and made the villain more threatening, like in the first one, I think the villain that's still the best villain because he didn't speak another language and it was not subtitled. This is the lamest villain in the franchise. Whatever his name is, I forgot his name. Armando, whatever. It's such a typical Mexican name. It's stupid. I bet these filmmakers were giving the finger to President Trump because he if he saw this movie he would hate it because of how many Megis are in this movie, and I'm like, and how stereotypical they are. Yeah, they're in Mexico and they're gonna speak Spanish for almost half the freaking movie, and the crowd's not gonna know or care. I was like this the whole time with my ears covered. It's an overrated language. Stop putting it in my action movies. No more. Just stop. Stop it. For the love of God, Michael Pena doesn't speak as much Spanish in any movie he's been in, and he was in Ant-Man 1 and 2. He's a better actor than this freaking block of wood. I swear, the whole movie he thinks he's Deadpool. He's like shooting people from far away, and he's killing them, slicing them up like Deadpool does with his swords. You're not Deadpool, dude. You're not Deadpool. I kept saying that in the theater. You're not Deadpool. There's a twist at the end, but I'm not going to say anything because I don't want to spoil it. But like I said, the action's fluid. There's some really good stunt work. I can see what's going on. There's not shaky cam like this. There's no quick edits. The action is fluid. It's a very fast paced movie. It's only the shit in Mexico that I don't give a shit about. You can fast forward that on Blu-ray or DVD or digital, and you're not going to miss anything. You're going to save yourself some trouble. And this is one of a former friend of mine on YouTube. He said that one of the things he hated about Logan was that the girl spoke Spanish and there's no subtitles. Then why did this movie have it? This is not a rant on the film. I love the film, but that shit was not needed. Jesus, the Dora movie from last year had less Spanish than this, but it's a badass sequel. It was worth the wait. The action is good. If you want laughs, the audience I saw it with were laughing their asses off. They laughed louder than any movie I've seen since Avengers Endgame. That's the sign of a good crowd when they're laughing up a storm. They're like, ah, ha, 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 and it was great. It was music to my ears. Vanessa Hudgens, best movie she's done since High School Musical 3. Screw you, Zack Snyder, for wasting her in Sucker Punch. She was badass here, was sexy, had some freaking acting chops. She's grown a lot since the HSM franchise, and she's just a darling. Alexander Ludwig, one of the Cato from the first Hunger Games. He got beefed up. He's badass, and there's a scene at the end where he's running through walls and shit. It's amazing. Again, screw you, Dark Phoenix, for wasting a cast of actors that could have done something like this. Charles Melton, the guy that was in Shazam at the end, that played the Asian kid that grown up with the Shazam powers. He was good. He was fine. And then you have this kick-ass Latina freaking action star that I think she's going to be much better than freaking what's her called, Salma Hayek or any of these other girls that just have these shitty accents that I don't like. I don't remember her name in the movie, but she was just smoking hot. It's like if you took if she looks like a Spanish mix of Carrie Ann Moss from The Matrix and Courtney Cox and a little bit of Rosa Salazar from Alita. You put that together, you get this chick, and she's awesome. She does a lot of kick-ass action at the end. It's not a feminist agenda, Elizabeth Banks. It's not a feminist agenda, Kathleen Kennedy. It's not a feminist agenda, freaking you idiots that made the Black Christmas remake. It's a badass woman that has a backstory and has short hair and is really good, easy on the eyes. And she wears female clothes. Yeah, suck it, Ray. This is a real Ray right here, a Reina, if you will, a queen, because this actually is a character, a female character that's not shoved in our face, and she doesn't steal the thunder from Martin Lawrence and Will Smith. So that's good. You added a female character that does something. Oh my God, pinch me! It's a new decade, finally. Yeah, it didn't have agendas, but there were some things in the dialogue, the Spanish and the religious stuff. It was not needed. It felt a little underwhelming, and it just was forced in there. The only scene you needed was when Martin Lawrence is like, "Please help Mike," and I promise I'll never be violent again. That's all you needed. That's all you freaking needed. You didn't need the other scenes where I'm gonna go into this guy's soul. It wasn't needed. There's a scene with this fat guy that Will Smith and Martin Lawrence are trying to talk to about some information, and he's high on coke, and it's a little bit on the nose. But I'm like, it's still very funny though. But the movie's worth your time. If you love the first two films, this is worth it. Maybe you won't have as many pet peeves about it as I did with the some of the dialogue in the freaking Spanish because that just it made the movie too long. Like the movie could be 10 minutes shorter, just like the second movie, if you cut that shit out. Just show them in the thing. They have they talk for 5 seconds. Cut to the next scene. Don't waste 2 minutes of my time doing that because it's just not necessary. Because everybody else in the movie was fine. Joe Pantoliano was good to see him again, and the other actors from the other films. Again, it's very funny. This film is hilarious. It's better than any buddy cop movie they tried in the last decade. Ride Along and freaking The Heat and freaking what else? The Nice Guys. I heard good things about it, but it flopped. This is going to make a lot of money. Please go see it. Avoid the cold. Just go see the freaking movie because it's worth it. You won't hate the stuff that I did, but hey, I'm biased, guys. I want to see your American English not broken on the big screen. That's what I did when I saw Endgame. That's what I did when I saw Spider-Man Far From Home mostly. Just give me that. And it delivered. This is going to be in my top five of the year because of how long I waited for a good sequel to Bad Boys 2. And it was not as racist as the second movie. They only say the N word like once. In the second one, they say it a lot. Here, it's only about once or twice, Josh. So it's not going to offend you. But good God, there's too much Spanish in this movie. Not too much CG, just too much of that. Not for me, guys. Not for me. But anyway, this movie kicked ass. It's got sexy women in it. Vanessa Hudgens and the freaking female lead from the they're a group called Ammo. That's all I'm gonna say. She's awesome. I was like, you're very attractive and you're a badass woman. Hey, I haven't seen that in months. So give me that over a freaking SJW Charlie's Angels or anything like that anyway. And fuck you, Rise of Skywalker. This is how you do a third movie right. You let the audience in and you don't insult them, you don't preach to them, and you give them a good time. That's what this movie did for me. And for a movie in January, that is saying a lot. So go see Bad Boys for life. Hell yeah. Yeah. Ride together, die together. And you know what? It didn't have a downbeat ending either, like Force Awakens did. So you got that. But I know I'm gonna get some hate, but I don't care. This movie was awesome. Top number five of my best of the year so far, and the year just started, but easily in my top five because the long wait was worth it. It was worth it. Waiting 10 years after episode three, I was underwhelmed. Rogue One, I hated it. It wished it was R rated because then they could put blood in a freaking movie again. And these directors, please do another action movie. If you did John Wick 4, or another one, another buddy cop movie, you can nail it. Just get different writers. Don't put Spanish shit in the movie. It's not needed. Just not for me. I'm sorry. If you get offended, I'm sorry. It's not needed in these movies. You have Narcos on Netflix. You have the freaking Spanish channels on TV. You have plays that are from other countries that they do. You don't need that here. It speaks for itself. Martin Lawrence and Will Smith are the reason to see the movie and the action and the laughs. Thanks for watching. Take care. I love this movie. Bad Boys for Life. What you gonna do when they come running around on you? Peace, guys.